Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Sports Talk and the Success Table. I am Zach Barnett. Let's get into this interview today. But before that, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to get all our up-to-date content. Let's get into the interview. So, you touched on the NFL process, but the transition, you said it was more of a business atmosphere with that mindset of using steroids. It makes you closed up, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Did you feel alone in that process?
Yeah, very. It's something to hide. If you have something to hide, it's not a good thing.
Yes, sir.
And especially when you're being accused of all, from every angle possible, every media source, every opposing school, every, NFL scout. I don't say every, but the majority of them are very suspicious about it. So the testing in the NCAA was very lax, and compared to the testing in the NFL at that time. So I took, I started taking steroids that last month of high school, and then I didn't take steroids. I took steroids throughout college, and then when I got drafted, actually it was even before I got drafted, it was because we had the combine in February or March. So I'd gotten off steroids like late, I want to say 1988, early 1989, because we played the Gator Bowl on New Year's Eve of 88, going into 89. And knowing the combine was coming up and knowing that their drug testing was more sophisticated, I just stopped steroids. And it was kind of like, it was the worst kept secret kind of in college football. And it wasn't just my use. It was there was a lot of players from a lot of teams from all over the country. It was a common thing. And I'm not saying that to minimize my use. I'm responsible for what I did. And I'm not justifying it at all. And I don't promote it to do it. The worst thing that could happen to me at that time was to test positive at the combine, because I think, draft spot would have went down, and which is value in monetary, right? So that's why I just kind of was like, I'm just washing my hands from it and moving on. And in a short period amount of time, even though steroids were, are a drug or classified as a drug for performance, I ended up kind of filling that void with painkillers and alcohol, which are not associated with performance, if anything, with bad performance, and that was because of like the thing that you had mentioned earlier. You feel isolated, which is not good for any human being. You feel like you're under a microscope. You feel like the world's looking at you. You're hoping you don't get caught, and you're wrapped up in all these distractions in your head, when really all you need to do is concentrate is on playing football. That's why they got you. That's why they drafted you. They didn't draft you for anything else but to play football. And you hope the side effects of that are somebody like Tim Tebow, who's great in the community, or Russell Wilson, who's great in the community, and people like that. And, sometimes you'll get the bad apple, you'll get people that do what I did, big mouth, arrogant, and they're a dime a dozen to this day, every year. If there was as many guys that were like Russell Wilson, or like Tim Tebow, or like Peyton Manning, or like Tom Brady. Like Tom Brady is like, I know people don't like talking about him. How many times did you hear about him getting in trouble in the media? You don't, because he doesn't.
Several times, but I'm a Patriot fan, so I'm
right.
Brady.
And like, look, if the worst trouble he's getting into is about the football inflation thing. It's like, okay, well, look, I mean, I think you know what I mean, as far
Yes.
as like things that happen after midnight are not, our old coach used to say, nothing good happens after midnight, you know. So he'd always say, get back to your dorm rooms.
Hey, 3 o'clock's the devil's hour, so
Right.
that's
For us, it started at midnight.
I
You
hear
know.
you, man. So, amongst your NFL career, you had your ups and your downs.
Yeah.
So, what were some of your best moments that you had in the NFL?
Oh man, by far, absolutely by far, the best moment was standing for the national anthem at the RCA Dome in Indianapolis on opening day, because it was, I'd made the team. I'd been out of football for 3 years because of my alcoholism and drug addiction, and it was to me, it was like surreal. It was an absolute miracle that not only that I was alive, but I was back in the arena of doing something that I absolutely had grown up dreaming about doing. So that by far was like hands down the best moment of my pro, career. 4 years in Green Bay, 3 years out of the league. Was lucky enough to get a chance to go back to Indy, and play there for 3 years, and that was a great experience.
This concludes our episode today, folks. We greatly appreciate the support. And if you're not a subscriber yet, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to get all our up-to-date content. And if you like this video, hit the like button. We greatly appreciate it. We welcome you back next time.